the fact that I have a walker and, going in there is just an excuse. And so it's been really good to see, even after we were done with the foundations class, I said, hey, I feel better. I'm going to do a pull-up. And you were like, yeah, sure, bud. You're not going to do a pull-up. And then I moved myself a half an inch. And then, 2 or 3 months ago with Heather, I was doing 3 or 4 pull-ups. I never did a pull-up in my life because I was the fat kid, and here I am doing, multiple sets of pull-ups.
What's up, everybody? I'm Chris Davis here with my wife, Megan Davis, and we are your hosts for the My Blank Fitness Journey podcast. During this podcast, we will reveal the secrets that we have used to help our community become more healthy, fit, and confident, and also hear from some amazing people in our community as they fill in the blank and tell us about their fitness journey. Listen in and be ready to be inspired by our guests who, just like you, are superheroes as we dive into their origin story. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 8 of, I think we're 8, 9, somewhere in there.
You should keep up with that.
Well, yeah, I should. We're doing a podcast about people's fitness journeys and what their blank is. Some would call it My Blank Fitness Journey podcast, and that's what we're going to call it today and forever. So, Megan, I'm with you. I'm going to be with Jeff here in just a minute. Firstly, my Megan, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Super duper. We were just talking before the podcast, and Jeff was mentioning that I didn't look very excited about being on the podcast, and I had to let him know that, guys, before I do these, I have to get into like my mental space where I am just like hitting my zen, and that takes some Metallica. So we're blaring some Master of Puppets and then Fuel. So if I seem like I'm about to throw my head through the computer, that's why, because I'm ready to go. Megan, are you ready?
Ready. Yeah. Do you ever do that for workouts? Do you ever hit that flow state?
Every once in a while. And if you guys have worked out with me, you know that I've got to have specific songs if we're going super heavy for something. I am that guy still. I don't really care about music much anymore when I'm working out, like whether it's whatever dumb EDM is on or can I say that? Country. We had like 80s lovemaking music playing in the gym earlier today, and it was embarrassing. I was sad for our members that was what was on, and it took a while for it to get changed. So it was awkward and
always too long when that's on.
Yeah. And it became evident that this was a personal playlist from one of our coaches. And so that was just weird, but here we are now. Megan, how is your fitness this week?
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped. I know we talked about that I was working towards a goal to try to stay motivated and disciplined last week of doing strict handstand work, but we had the chance to work on something else, gymnastics, in the workouts this week. So I had another one of my goals on my list. So I didn't get the handstand goal yet, but I had a goal for a number of bar muscle ups that I could do in a row, and I hit that, and I was super happy about it. Chris was there, so
how many was it?
It was only 5, but I feel
only 5. That's yeah. Awesome.
I feel happy about it. 8 is next, so I'll slowly be working on building it. So
that's a 60% increase. That's pretty drastic.
All right. Well,
what about 6? You could do 6 next.
I'll try for 6 next. There we go.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, it was amazing. And Megan pretty much crushes every goal that she has. So it makes me less likely to set goals because I know that I'm less likely to hit them.
Stop. That's not true at all.
It is. Well,
I only set goals because of you.
Megan, and maybe we mentioned this before, but Megan still is like not even coming close to hitting her peak in her fitness. I peaked 12 years ago, probably. And it has been a quick descent downwards for my fitness. No, it's fun.
Except for your rollerblading.
I haven't been able to blade much recently. It's been a busy week, which makes me sad, but that's life. Sometimes blading has to get put on the back burner, which yeah, that's sad to say, but we've all been there. We've all had to put blading on the back burner sometimes. So
It's true.
Megan, can you please, with your very best informative information, hit me with your nutrition tip for the week?
Okay, so for our nutrition tip, I wanted to do a little bit of a series on how to get the most out of your workouts, because there's quite a few things. It's not just about what you're doing when you're in the gym. There's quite a few things that affect it. So I could talk on each of these for probably too long. So I'll try to keep it short and actionable. But the first thing we're going to talk about is sleep, and how if you're regularly not getting enough sleep, that it increases your cravings for sugar and fat. Those kind of like highly palatable foods that we like to eat a lot of. So it can also slow down your recovery and affect your body's ability to gain muscle and lose fat. So not getting enough sleep, it really does affect your body in a lot of negative ways. So we want to prioritize getting sleep as much as possible, and we're aiming for like at least 7 to 8 hours. I know that some people are probably laughing right now because of how unrealistic that seems. So we're trying to work towards that. A couple of things that you can do to work towards that would be keeping a regular wake and sleep cycle. So trying to stay within like 30 minutes to an hour of going to bed around the same time and waking up around the same time, whether it's like a weekend or a weekday. I know that it hits especially hard sometimes with summer and schedules are off. But getting another thing that can help is getting daylight exposure. So like sunlight really helps with setting your natural circadian rhythm. So if you're having trouble, falling asleep or staying asleep, just getting sunlight exposure during the day can really help, as does exercise. So I heard that there's no sleep like CrossFit sleep. So when you work hard in the gym, it really helps your body with being able to fall asleep and get good quality sleep while you're asleep. Two other things that we like to do are start dimming the lights. I know on our iPhones, we have it set to go to like nighttime mode, or the light turns not bright after like 7 p.m. to help with this. And then we try to watch our caffeine after 4 p.m. And I know recently I've been doing a little bit of caffeine after 4, and it's like midnight or later before I'm falling asleep, and I'm like regretting my choices. So those things really do, if you notice, those are some things that really affect most people. So if you start paying attention to some of those things, and you can try one thing and it helps you maybe get a little bit better sleep that night, and you feel so much better. If you're someone who's getting less than 5 hours of sleep, it might be better for you to rest than to go hard in a workout, or go easy in your workout, so that you're not working against the gains you've already made. I know that, new parents, people that have just changed jobs, or, just things like that can really affect it. So pay attention to your body. And if you're feeling really tired, it's okay to listen to your body and take that rest day, so that you don't work against the work that you've already put in.
I think that's great. And we've got some friends that live nearby that haven't been making it to the gym as much as they should. And they might say, oh, I haven't been sleeping enough. If you follow those things and you get to bed on time, you get enough sleep. So I'm not going to call them out by name. They'll listen to this and they'll know exactly who I'm talking about. So go to bed on time, guys. Thanks for that, Megan. Sleep is so important, and it's so easy to neglect. And we think like exercise and food, but your body is so much more than that. Like, it's the rest, it's the stress. There are very real things happening inside your body when you sleep, and when you sleep enough, those things are good. And when you don't sleep enough, those things are bad. So really, as much as you can, follow those things. If you have follow-up questions, feel free to reach out to Megan. She'd be happy to kind of talk through some more sleep hygiene things with you. But that's super important, and it really easy to mess up. As a kind of a side note, one of our coaches today said that he got 15 hours of sleep last night. So good for him. Good for him. Yeah, that's a thing. Sometimes people can do that.
That's a thing. Okay.
I did it when I had COVID. That was because I had COVID.
You had COVID.
All right. Enough sleep talk. We are not sleepy here. We are pumped up. Jeff's already shown off his coffee. He's ready to go. We have with us today Mr. Jeff Underwood. He said I could call him Jeffrey or Hey Bud. I'll probably do a combination of the three. Jeff started with us. Oh gosh, it's like 4 or 5 months ago now, and he's rocking and rolling. I'm excited for him to tell his story. He is somebody that is an encouragement to lots of people at our gym. To me specifically, it's been a pleasure getting to hear his story and be a part of his journey. So welcome to the show, Jeff.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So before we did this podcast, Jeff did say, he's like, 2 things. I might swear and we might talk about Jesus. So if either of those things happen, just be prepared. It's okay, everybody. So Jeff, first of all, I think that it would be most appropriate for you to just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself in general, like who you are, like 2 to 3 second bio.
I really hate these kind
more
of
than
things.
that.
Yeah, I really hate these kind of things, where it's like, tell me about yourself. Well, my best attributes, you know what I mean? Got a wife, got 2 kids. Everybody knows I walk with a walker.
No, there's lots of people that don't know that. That's okay to add in, but
hey, I walk with a walker, broke my back last year.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know. I like long walks on the beach. I don't know where to go with that one outside of that. No, not really. The last time I was on the beach was in this last May, and there was a little 2-year-old showing off, and I was just like, you little show off, as I'm sitting there with my walker, like, I'm, doing my thing.
Do they have sand tires for a walker?
No, it sucked. Yeah, it was brutal. The same way with like going through the grass, it's still like a huge pain in the butt. And obviously everybody's yard isn't completely level. So it's like, oh, I got this. Oh, you know what I mean? So
Jeff, they have off-road tires. We need to get you some.
It's one of those things where I just don't want to invest in something that's going to be so temporary. Like,
that's true.
I've already broken one walker. Like the second walker I got free from somebody else because I was just bound and determined, I
was just thinking that you could like pimp out your big wheels on your walker, get spinners on there. Hopefully somebody listening to this remembers spinners, because that was a dark time in our history as a country.
Yes, absolutely.
Did you have spinners? Either of you?
No, I didn't have spinners.
I came super close.
That's embarrassing.
What car was that you almost had spinners on?
Yeah, I was hoping that wasn't going to be the follow-up question, but it was a Camry.
The old Yoda with spinners. I'm glad that didn't happen. That could have changed our trajectory a little bit. But confession time, I mean, that's right around the same time that I was very close to buying a cheap grill. So for my mouth, not for my car. So
really?
Yeah.
I think the grill would have been a way worse direction than spinners.
Yeah, I agree. There's all of us have decisions that we've almost made that would have been huge regrets. And sometimes we make those decisions anyways and regret them forever. But luckily me having a permanent grill is not one of those decisions. So, Jeff, tell us, I guess like the short story, you mentioned you walk with a walker, you broke your back. Right. I guess like the abbreviated version, what brought you into our gym? And yeah, that's it. Tell me.
Well, basically April of last year, my wife found me in the middle of our living room, moaning and groaning on the ground. I had crushed my T12 vertebrae, had some bulging discs, had to have emergency spinal surgery. And kind of been learning how to walk ever since. Had a buddy that was a personal trainer, did physical therapy. You know how insurances are, where it's basically, I had 30 visits. And then when I was done with 30 visits, sorry, bud, you still don't know how to walk well, but there's nothing we can do. And so I stumbled through personal training and then, basically said, okay, there's got to be something else. So I Googled CrossFit County Road 210 and you guys showed up. And I had a buddy that was really into CrossFit and he was kind of a jerk, when he was really into CrossFit.
Most of us are.
Yeah. So I said, I called him. I think I talked to you through a text message or whatever. And I said, made an appointment with you. And like the day of, I called my friend and I said, hey, why do I not want to go to CrossFit? And he gave me all the reasons under the sun and whatever. And so I went in there with a really bad attitude, meeting with you, and you completely changed my mind. And, been there ever since. And I've had more progress working out with Triforce and all the coaches and you than I did, in the 3 to 6 months I did with physical therapy. So,
yeah. And, the things that you were doing with them were great, and they really helped set us up for success moving forward where you're at right now. Right. Unfortunately, this is a whole separate conversation. One of the reasons that we have a physical therapy practice that doesn't take insurance, because it's stupid that insurance companies can dictate your care. It's just
absolutely
crazy. But yeah, I very vividly remember the conversations we were having over text message before. You're like, hey, I'm coming in on a walker, just so you know. I'm like, okay, I've seen somebody on a walker before.
Yeah.
If you had a big mole on your face or something, like I'd expect a heads up on that a little bit more than a walker. But
well, it was back to that preconceived notion that everybody that does CrossFit is like all about, themselves and looking good in the mirror. So I didn't want to go roll in there and be like, hey guys, want to work you out? I didn't know what I was walking into. And the fact that, a majority of the people that were there were, laid back and cool or older than me. I said, well, this may be my people, so.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we talked through, hey, I know, I think that this will work for you. Let's give it a go. I am of the belief that CrossFit can be for anybody. And so that's the approach that we took. I was very clear with Jeff, right? That I'm like, dude, I don't know if this is going to be the best thing for you. And but we're going to try as hard as we can. And we're going to make a program that works for you. And I mean, it sounds like, and it sounded like you were just willing to try whatever you could, right? Like,
yeah.
Hey, if this might work, then it's worth doing, because, I get it. I guess, like, tell me a little bit about not necessarily your mental state, but like, how are you feeling before you started at Triforce with your progress, where you were at?
Well, I mean, everything in my life since April last year have kind of been up in the air, kind of crazy. So mentally I was motivated, but I was definitely a little defeated, with everything, because at that, what was that? March, April, something like that. I really didn't know what to do as far as getting better, because physical therapy was all I knew. I was meeting with a personal trainer one day a week, and I just wasn't going anywhere. But I was frustrated, but I was super motivated to get things done. I started having that feeling because prior to April last year, I was just sitting on the couch, drinking bourbon, eating cookies. I wasn't into physical fitness. I didn't have any idea of that. And then once the ability to walk was taken away from me, and I started losing a ton of weight, I said, this is never going to happen to me again. Don't get me wrong. I like a glass of bourbon every once in a while, and cookies are fun. But that priority of being in shape and being able to walk with my kids and, do all these things was way more of a priority for me. I just didn't know how to get even better physical. I didn't know how to get to the point where I could walk, but on top of that, like, how do I get into better physical shape? And regardless of the fact that I'm not walking well, I'm still in probably the best physical shape I've been in my life. And it's because of, you guys and the work I've been putting in.
That's awesome. I would say, yeah, you definitely put in the work. And I think it's really cool to see how you've been open to like modifying the workouts. Tell us a little bit about how your workouts are going.
Oh, it's good, especially, Mark coming on is just a new, different direction we've been taking everything. And but across the board, I mean, from day one with you, Chris, everything was the walker or not being able to walk was an excuse, so okay, you can't do this, then let's try this, like I was giving you guys every reason under the sun for me to quit. And I remember Autumn taking a walker and saying like, okay, well, if you can't do these squats this way, then you don't need this walker, and moving it away and saying, oh, you're going to do 15 more before you, get your walker back, crap like that,
Holding it hostage.
Disclaimer, I don't know if that's legal for us to do or not, so I can't confirm or deny that actually happened, but
yeah.
that sounds awesome.
It's cool you were standing there, but we won't get into details about that. but everybody has just been, the fact that I have a walker and, going in there is just an excuse. And so it's been really good to see, even after we were done with the foundations class, I said, hey, I feel better. I'm going to do a pull-up. And you were like, yeah, sure, bud. You're not going to do a pull-up. And then I moved myself a half an inch. And then, 2 or 3 months ago with Heather, I was doing 3 or 4 pull-ups. I never did a pull-up in my life because I was the fat kid, and here I am doing, multiple sets of pull-ups. Granted, it's always tricky when I come back down, like, where are my feet? Am I going to stand up? Am I going to slip or fall? but a majority of the time, it's just amazing seeing the gains and seeing the progress that is happening, because it's all been gradual. I'm working out with you guys for the long term. I don't expect to have like ripping biceps and look like Brad Pitt in Fight Club tomorrow, but a couple of years from now, hopefully there's some kind of change. But it's just been good to see. It's been motivating. Don't get me wrong, there's been frustrating days. Just this week I've been pretty frustrated with some of it, but it's been all good.
Yeah. So, Megan brought up modifications. I think it's amazing that there can be a style of workout where you can have so many options for people to do like a similar workout. So somebody that has knee pain and somebody on a walker, and somebody that has no pain and somebody that's 12 years old and somebody that's 80 years old can all be in the same class, getting a great workout together, high five each other at the end, and not be judging each other because maybe their workout looked a little bit different. I love it. You're in there with an ex Pro Bowler and like you guys are workout buddies, and that's super cool,
Yeah. The biggest thing that I've seen, and especially because, I don't like it, but I'm getting used to it everywhere I go. If I go to McDonald's or, or I go to the gym or wherever I go, I'm almost 6'4", walking into a public place with a walker. I usually get, oh, he's so young, or, there's always that attention. But there's people that are comparing their workouts to me, or the people that come in shy and they're looking around like, oh, so-and-so just did a massive deadlift and this person did this. But the biggest thing that I've noticed, and it's how I approach it every time, is it's not what you're doing, it's the effort you're putting in. If your face is turning purple and you're really trying hard and you want to throw up at the end of the workout, then it's a good workout, even if you curled 10 pounds, but that's how I approach it. And you knew that the first couple of days, Chris, when I was just like, oh, I'm not nauseous or tired, or you don't have to like help me to my car. I was a wuss that day. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It's just the effort you're putting into it.
Yeah. And I rarely question your effort, Jeff.
Good.
Yeah. Cool. So, Jeff is a morning warrior. He's in there at 8 or 9 o'clock every day, usually sometimes in the afternoons. What would you say about the classes that you take, as far as like the community, the other people in the classes that are encouraging you or not encouraging you? Do they talk to you? Like, I guess, fill me in on what the classes are like.
Oh, it's been great. It's just like anything else, right? When you're an adult, adult relationship, adult friendships always take a little bit of time, because when you see somebody for an hour, you're not like, hey, you want to hang out? But just the example yesterday when we were walking, you and I for the physical therapy session we had. I mean, Lavernius, Trevor, a couple other people sat back to watch me do the circle with my cane and, got excited. They were almost honestly more excited than I was, because I was just like, I'm going to slip and fall and this is going to suck. It's not even an embarrassing thing. It's just like, I just really don't want to fall. And then by the time I circled around, I looked and there was everybody, Mark, everybody just jumping around, being excited. And, at one point I brought in a cane just to see if I could do it one workout. And, Heather was crying about it, just because she was so excited. There's a good community of people there. It's not one of the gym rat, ridiculous things that you always think of when it's CrossFit, like I'm now at 1122 because Ryan worked out next to me. We had conversations, I've hung out with people. It's been a gradual process, but.
What is 1122 for the people that don't know?
Oh, it's a church. Yeah.
Church.
Yeah. Church. There we go. Talking about Jesus.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Now you just have to get your swear word in and you've checked your box.
Let's separate it from the Jesus or don't actually. No, that's good. Great job. That's cool that you get to work out next to your pastor. And like you said,
a pro bowler.
Everybody's in there, right?
Yeah.
It's really fun for me to just because it's easy to get caught up in the workout, or going around to everybody, getting caught up in the details. But every time that I'm able to actually remove myself from the situation and see what's going on, it's just really amazing. Seeing everybody work out together and laugh and cheer each other on. When we were walking yesterday, it was so the Open is this CrossFit thing where everybody competes worldwide, and we view it as an opportunity to come together and have fun. We do Friday Night Lights. It's a big event for us. And so in those workouts, people are cheering for each other. It's loud and crazy and wild. And that's what it felt like. It felt like somebody was setting their deadlift PR. They were going for this new awesome thing. When you're walking around, everybody's cheering for you. And that was, I'll be honest, I was really holding back tearing up because I wanted to make sure that I was able to help you if I had blurry vision, I didn't want you to slip on my tears.
Yeah.
No, it was really amazing. And it reset my focus, honestly, on the why we do what we do, because Triforce really has become a community of people that are there to encourage each other and there to spur each other on to do better and be better. So that was really cool for me personally. I don't know if hopefully it was effective for you too. So
it was great. And this whole process has been great because, other physical therapists are invested into it just as much as you guys are, I don't know how many times somebody stopped me to work out and been like, hey, I know what you're doing there, but it's best to work your hip flexors and do this and try this direction. And, even today at the workout where we were listening to the bad 80s music, there was plenty of times where somebody was stopping me and said, hey, try this, or you're looking really good doing this, or, it's definitely a team effort and a more of a family atmosphere than I expected.
Yeah. Okay. We'll shift away from the serious stuff for a minute and we'll come back to it. I do want to talk about where you're at right now as far as your abilities, your physical abilities, but on a much more lighthearted note, we're all superheroes. You're a superhero in my heart, at least. And so tell me your real life superpower, Mr. Jeffrey.
Real life superpower. That was a question I hope wasn't coming up.
Well, it's here. You have to tackle it or come up with a more fun question for yourself.
Right. I was thinking about that. I have an amazing, and this is going to sound stupid, honestly, but I have an amazing amount of patience is the only thing I could think of, where it's been a really weird year. You know what I mean? And I've been able to just grind and look at it at 24 hours at a time. You know, a good buddy of mine, he got out of rehab, got 2 years ago, 3 years ago. His life, he just crumbled around him. And the nugget he took is, they always told him, just take life 24 hours at a time. And if you fail today, you got a fresh 24 the next day, you know, go make it right. And then if it sucks again, then just keep doing it. And that's, ever since he told me that, I think that was January, February, I've been able to kind of switch my focus and just look and go, hey, this sucks. I hurt, you know, especially first couple of months at Triforce. I was like, oh my God, somebody kill me. You know, I think I had to take a nap after every workout. Thank God I worked from home. But yeah, I think that's a good answer. I'll go with that one.
Patience.
Yeah.
I think it's great. And going back to Jesus, like, he is the giver of patience. He's the giver of all good things. And, you know, I think that that's a huge blessing for you. And I 100% agree with that answer for you. Like, you're an incredibly patient person. I've seen that with, you know, how you deal with your kids and how you deal with other people at the gym and how you deal with me and my lack of response when you text me sometimes.
All good.
So no, I think that's huge. And
we're my thing on that is texting is, you know, we're all adults, we've got kids, just hit me up in 3 to 5 business days. Outside of that, I'm going to be a little bit annoyed, but you know,
sure. Yes. Your fitness journey is what? You're fill in the blank for me. That's the name of the podcast. So we have to at least do that question.
It's been really, I thought about it. I was like, is it life-changing ish? But it's been really motivating because, you know, before I started this, it was, like I said, there was other things going on in my life. Just the day-to-day, you know, I mean, it takes me 5 minutes to walk out to my car and get in my car because I got to do everything with a walker and, you know, all that. But because of my pushing myself at, you know, with Triforce, that's been able to kind of mold over and go into other aspects of my life, you know, where I've been able to conquer the things at the gym. So I'm like, well, I'm way stronger than I think I am. And so I go to, you know, I push myself a little bit more and, you know, especially like yesterday, you know, walking around and stumbling around and, you know, I haven't walked without a cane or a walker in a year, you know, now I just need you to follow me around with some theme music and I think we'll get this going. But, but it's just been, you know, I'm able to go to work and, you know, demand things at work and sell and do what I got to do and have the confidence to walk in, even in a walker, in locations and say, you know, hey, there's everybody that's going to be around looking at me, but it is what it is. And, you know, I went from the shy, timid guy to the guy that owns the room, even though I've got a walker in my hand and it doesn't really matter. So
that's awesome.
That's super cool. So we know that Chris's theme music is Master of the Puppets. What's your theme music?
Master of Puppets. I don't think there's a
Sorry. Thank you.
Master. Yeah. What's your theme music? Sorry.
Right now, I've just been listening to a lot of Rage Against the Machine. It seems like I Testify and Guerrilla Radio are the two songs as I'm driving to the gym. Like, I think 2 or 3 days ago, I was just listening to talk radio and I had probably the worst workout I've had in about 6 months. So I just make sure to put those on my playlist every time I get in the car and like got windows down and cranked. And if I don't hear both songs, then I just don't feel right.
That's why you're late sometimes. You're just in your car getting pumped up.
Yeah, you've seen me. I've just been in the car. That's what I'm doing. Finishing Guerrilla Radio. And then I get out and like, okay, yeah, let's go.
That's your warm up.
I counteract that when I get back in the car and go to Dunkin' Donuts on the way home.
Boy, nutrition's hard.
Oh yeah, I love donuts. I can't help it.
Nutrition is hard. Donuts are good too. Mm-hmm. Dunkin', it wouldn't be my choice though. There's so many better choices.
Oh, it's a matter of convenience. It's not a matter of flavor.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Megan, we need to start selling donuts at the gym.
It.
Yes.
seems counterproductive, but maybe a good business opportunity. Who knows? So Mr. Jeffrey, to kind of finish things off, let's recount yesterday. So it was life-changing for me. Yesterday was really cool. So
yeah, for sure.
Tell me how it went yesterday. We had a PT session. Tell me how it went.
Yeah, initially when I was walking with the cane, I went in with not necessarily a bad attitude. I was just woke up yesterday morning, not really wanting to do anything. And it was one of those where I looked down, I said, oh, it's 8:20. I should probably go meet Chris. Yay. And when I got there and, was able to, like I said, by the end of it, I'm walking for the first time in a year, without anything.
Without anything. It was me falling behind him. And Jeff is a guy that walks with a walker. Everybody, everywhere he goes. And we were walking yesterday with nothing. Yeah. That's amazing, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. And so by the end of that, it was really motivating. And, I know nobody else knows. I think I told you about the doctor. Yeah, because I met with you after that doctor, that idiot doctor. I'm not going to name names, but he sucks. He basically, after the doctor told me that I'm never going to walk without a cane or a walker ever again in my life, which was just a month ago, it's pretty devastating. I was pretty low, and then by the end of the day, met with you and, kind of realized that like I'm still making gains, as far as I'm advancing on walking without all that stuff. So screw that guy, I'm going to push myself until I can't push myself anymore. It's like we talked about yesterday. If I get to a point where I plateau, then okay, we start having conversations about a cane and a walker for the rest of my life. But that's not going to be the deal. So I've slowly been progressing and moving my feet more so the past couple of weeks than I have in the entire time since my accident. So it's so encouraging. And that's why I was asking you the other day. I was just like, oh, okay, what do you think? And in the general scheme of things, it doesn't matter. I just got to get what's in my head and the motivation I have down and really put the work in, because if I keep doing what I'm doing and my body keeps healing, I'll be in there, doing those 200-meter runs that everybody was cussing at today or whatever it was. I'm actually jealous when everybody's doing that.
Isn't that funny? Like the things that everybody complains about, like if you're on the other side of the situation, you're like, I wish I could do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's been incredible to be a part of your journey. And
thank you.
Even especially the past couple months. I mean, the first couple months you had huge progress, and then it's been slowly kind of chipping away. And it's like watching your kids grow up. Like if you're with them every day right now, when we're recording this, it's the end of the summer. And so we've been around the boys all day, every day, for what seems like an eternity. And so, like right now I don't notice that they've gotten bigger, but then I look at pictures and I'm like, oh man, they're not the same kids they were in May. And it was the same thing, I think, with you. Like it was easy to kind of lose track of your progress. And then the past couple of weeks, like you said, like your foot's moving again, you're not having those same issues that you were having. And then yesterday, ditch it all, man, let's go. That was awesome. So I'm glad that you're doing so well, and that honestly, it's an encouragement to me, it's an encouragement to everybody at the gym. So any parting words for us as we end the podcast?
No, yeah, it's been great, man. It's definitely been orchestrated and perfect for me. It's one of the best decisions I've ever made, coming and working out with you guys and getting to another level. So it's been great, man.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of My Blank Fitness Journey podcast. If this story inspired you, make sure that you like and subscribe to the podcast on whatever platform you're using. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can check us out at triforcecrossfit.com. Just send us a message and we'd love to help you. See you guys soon on the next episode.